John Peterson, and this is my third installment of Living with Poland Syndrome, which is a rare birth defect. I have a deformed right hand, and this particular episode deals with clothing issues. Doesn't sound like a big deal, but you know, in some ways it can be. And first off, with Poland Syndrome, one of the signs is that you have a abnormal bone growth on the affected side, and so my right arm is shorter than my left arm, which is no big deal, but it is if you wear long sleeve shirts a lot, because if I stand up, you'll notice that my sleeve on my left hand, you know, comes down to the wrist area, but my right hand, it comes down to the knuckles right there. And that's because of the abnormal length of my arm. And so if you wear business suits or something like that, which I don't because of my line of work, I don't wear business suits, but you can of course get things tailored so they're a little bit shorter, so they can tailor that to the correct correct length for the sleeves. Now this video is going to deal with three things. First off, how I button the sleeves of a shirt. Also how I tie shoes, and some problems you can have wearing gloves in the winter time. So I hope you find this informative. So one thing I have difficulty with, or discovered early on, is buttoning sleeves, but I have a way around that. Now in my line of work, I'm an instrument builder. I don't wear a lot of dress shirts, but if I'm like at a wedding or something like that, or in a wedding, button your sleeves. Now I might have a little difficulty doing it right now because I'm looking through my viewfinder as I do this, but doing it with my left hand, that's not a problem. It's pretty easy. But the one problem I had was using my right hand to button my left sleeve, and so it's really hard for me to grab this around like here. I can't get a grip with it. But I found out early, years ago, that if I hold the cuff with the fingers on my left hand like this, so I have a nice firm surface, I can usually get the button. And it usually takes me this long anyway to do this, even if I'm not looking through a viewfinder, but just sort of get some assistance from my left hand, and it takes a little bit of practice. But it's almost there. And so I'm using both fingers, all my fingers of both hands, to get the button through the buttonhole, and almost got it. Thank you for your patience, but we will see in just a matter of seconds. As I said, I'm holding the cloth at the very end of the cuff with my left hand fingers, and then working the button through. Let's try this again. And as I said, it usually takes me this long to do this anyway. So, and there we go, right there. So once again, I held the cloth with my left hand and sort of used my fingers to help with that. But that's how I button a shirt sleeve. And that's one of the toughest things I had to do to figure out how to do that. But it works great. It works great. So that's a button in a shirt sleeve using both hands. Another thing I had a little difficult trying to figure out was trying to tie a shoe. And so, of course, I don't have my shoe on foot. This moose is going to help us out here, but he's not going to be much of a help. He's just going to sit and watch. But when I was trying to figure out what things to show on the video about how I do things differently than other people, shoes came first in mind because usually, when you tie a shoe, you do that little crossover thing like this, that little overhand knot, and then you do that one loop like so, and get that a little bit tighter. You do that one loop like so, and then you wrap your loop around there. And so for years, I wasn't able to get beyond this point, but when I was thinking about video stuff, I finally figured out after all these years I actually can do this, but years ago I couldn't do it. But so I can do it, just doing it the way you people do it like that. And so actually I don't have a problem with that. But how I tied my shoe for years and years and years and years and years until I found out like a week ago I could actually tie it like people usually do, is that I first do the overhand knot, like so. Like that, okay. And then what I had to do for years, since I thought I had difficulty doing the other way, I'd make a loop with my left hand, and I'd also make, using my left hand, a loop for my right hand, like that. So I'd actually have two loops. He's wearing glasses right there. A little nerdy moose there. And so then I would tie those loops overhand, and this took me a long time to figure this out. How to tie shoes when I was younger, and so oops, I screwed it up. Okay. Anyway, I screwed it up, but anyway, we'll try that again. But so I can show you again. So do the overhand knot, like you usually start off tying a shoe, and then I make one loop, for my left hand, and using my left hand fingers, I make a loop for my right hand, and then I tie those loops in an overhand knot, like so, And I tell you, when I figured out how to do that, how to tie my shoes, that was like a huge accomplishment. And so anyway, so that's how I tie my shoes. But then, as I told you before, like a week or so ago, I found out I could tie my shoes the regular way too. So I don't know. So I mean, that's not wasted years, but back when I learned how to tie my shoes, I couldn't do it that way because I just couldn't get the grip or something, with my fingers. So, but that worked great, and that was quite a goal for me when I actually learned how to do that. And so, so our moose helped us out with that. So, all right. Okay. One other thing about having a hand, like a smaller hand than usual, is that in the winter time when you wear gloves, um, I'm using a thin glove so it's easier to see what I'm talking about. But of course I got 4 fingers. This glove of course has 5 fingers. And when I wear a glove, sometimes it varies from glove to glove how I wear it. Now I can't get my thumb. Well, for years before I had a surgery when I was 11, I had a webbing up near the top, so I really couldn't move my thumb out this far. And so when I was younger, before that surgery, I just put all 4 fingers in the 4 finger section of the glove, like so. And so then the thumb would be loose. And then, but now since I have, more ability to move my thumb, I can actually put my thumb in the thumb section there, so it's easier to grip when you have your hand in the glove. But the one problem with wearing gloves is that, of course there's no finger in here. My pinky's in the ring finger sleeve. My ring finger of my hand is in the middle finger part sleeve of the glove. And then my index finger is actually in the index thing. But you'll notice there's a lot of space there, a lot of room, and which can be a problem when it's really cold outside. I lived up in the border of North Dakota for about 13 years, and when it gets cold out, you have all this air space right up here, and my fingers would tend to get cold, and I'm surprised I didn't get frostbite or anything like that living up there for so long. But a way you can remedy that, and I've never tried this, maybe if you stuff this portion of the fingers of the glove with like cotton or something like that, so it's better insulated or something, that might work. and I'm sure you know you maybe sew them off or something like that where your fingers stop. I've never done that, but I'm sure there's somewhere if you do like an internet search if wearing a glove is a little bothersome with the hand you got. I'm sure there's probably somewhere in the world where people make custom made gloves, you know, to fit abnormal hands and such like that. But anyway, that's a problem I've had with gloves. You know, it's not a big problem, but you know, your fingers can get cold if you have all this empty airspace. I'll show you this thing because it's something a friend of mine made for me. This is a fingerless glove right here, and I was at a friend of mine's house, and we were watching a movie, and the movie was a little boring, so she actually sewed me up some fingerless gloves, and there's a little thumb hole right here, and this is for my left hand. So you know, I stick my thumb in there, and so I got the fingerless glove. It works great when I'm in my little workshop, which sometimes doesn't heat up that well, but you know, at least keep my palms warm, my fingers free. And this is the section for my right hand, and you'll notice that the thumb slit is way up near the top now, and so that way if I wear this one on my right hand, you know, I don't, you know, have a lot of, you don't see my fingers, you know, because the thumb hole's way down here and doesn't go much further than that. But if I use, put this one back on, but if I put on this one with the thumb slit way up here, I actually get to see my fingers with that. So a friend of mine made those for me. They're fingerless gloves, and really nice little gift she gave me. But those were great. My fingers get really cold. But anyway, pretty cool. So it's a customized fingerless gloves that a friend of mine made for me. Well, I hope you found this video informative. And I hope you enjoyed visiting with the moose in the shoe tying section of the video. My next video, which is will be video number 4. This was video number 3. Number 2 and number 1 are available at my YouTube site. And please be sure to check out Rich's and Mario's videos also. Next video will focus on how I grasp items and also how I carry items with my right hand. So see you next time.